Hello grade 7 students, welcome to our virtual class for the 4th quarter week 4. I'm Abigail Sarmiento, your science teacher. Our first lesson for today is about sea breeze and land breeze. The sun hits the surface of the earth. The earth's surface is made up of different things. Some places heat up faster than others. Look at the picture above. Have you been to a place like that? What has to feel when you are under the sun? How about during the sunset? Have you experienced going to the seaside during nighttime? What have you noticed? The air above the warmer places will also warm up and will rise as a result. The air in the surroundings will then move toward the place where warm air is rising. We call this moving air wind. The wind may have special names depending on certain conditions. If you take a walk along a beach during a hot early afternoon, the moment you put bare foot in the sun, you will start jumping and hopping rigidly and try to reach the water to cool your scorching feet. Though the sun hits both land and water, they do not heat up or cool down at a similar pace. The breeze is generated at the coastal areas due to the differential heating and cooling of the sea and the land. What is a breeze? The light and cool wind we experience during summertime is called a breeze. It is one of the pleasant things we should experience during summer on the beach. There are two types of breezes, sea breeze and land breeze. The land breeze and sea breeze takes place near large bodies of water. The key difference between the two is caused by the property of water to retain and warm up water. The differences in the temperature of land and water cause respective changes to the densities of the air above them. The resulting low pressures then cause alternating air movements, which are manifested as breezes. Individuals situated near coastlines within 50 kilometers from the ocean front experience cool sea breezes during the day and warm land breezes at night. Furthermore, these winds are instrumental in humidity and temperature levels and precipitation rates. The sea breeze is known as the movement of winds from a larger body of water like the ocean and seas. It is also called the onshore winds. This usually occurs during the summer and spring season as there is more temperature difference between the land and the adjacent bodies of water like the ocean and sea. This is most often observed in the afternoons when the nearby land has been heated at its maximum level. Notably, sea breezes are stronger during the summer months as compared to the winter season. This is again attributed to the huge temperature difference between land and sea, which may even prompt thunderstorms, which are essential in bringing rain. Hence, sea breezes are not that apparent during the autumn and winter months during the temperature differentials are smaller. During the daytime, the land gets quickly heated by the sun. The air above the water gets less warm as compared to the air above the land. Due to the warmer air above the land, it begins to rise in the air due to being less dense. Then, low pressure is formed. As the warm land air moves up, the denser air above the water moves to take space above the land. This cooler air is known as the sea breeze. The flow of moving air from land to water is known as the land breeze. It is also known as the offshore wind. When the temperature of land is lower compared to the adjacent water bodies, it happens during the night and early morning. It arises at night and early morning when the land has a lower heat capacity as compared to the adjacent water. Particularly, land breezes last longer during the last weeks of summer, as this is when the sea temperature will gradually increase to the land's daily temperature variations. During the night, the land cools down quickly as there is no sun to provide the heat. But compared to land, water bodies can retain the heat for a longer period, which causes the air above it to have lower density and rise. High pressure is formed above the land, and at the same time, low pressure is formed above the water. The movement of the denser air above the land takes place from the land to space over water. The cool breeze that comes from the shore is known as the land breeze. As the movement of the winds takes place from high pressure to low pressure areas, water has a higher specific heat capacity than other materials like land. The specific heat capacity of water is 4,200 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius. This means that it takes 4,200 G to rise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Lesson 2. Weather systems in the Philippines. Sun drives our weather condition. It is also the principal source of light and heat energy on Earth and its atmosphere. It greatly affects the temperature of the Earth. Landed heat energy from the sun reaches the Earth primarily as short-wave solar radiation. Some portion of the short-wave solar radiation is reflected in our space. The warm surface emits long-wave or terrestrial radiation back to the atmosphere and space. Philippines have a tropical climate regime. The weather is generally hot and dry. The region only experiences 3 seasons, hot and dry summer between March and May are known as tag-init. A wet season between June and November are known as tag-ulan, and a cooler dry season between December and February known as tag-init. Philippines weather patterns are created by prevailing winds out of the southwest monsoon, known as habagat, from May to October, and the northeast monsoon, known as Amihan, from November to early May. Here are the weather systems that will affect the weather conditions in the Philippines. High and low pressure areas. A low pressure area, or LPA, is a region where the atmospheric pressure is lower than the surrounding areas, but at the same level. A low pressure system develops when warm air rises from the Earth's surface and the air in the surrounding area rushes in to fill the space, thus forming a heavy inflow of wind. In a low pressure area, winds rotate in the anti-clockwise direction around the center of the system, which is suggestive of some weather in terms of precipitation, clouds, rise in temperature, and strong winds. A high pressure area, or HPA, is a region where the atmospheric pressure at the surface is greater than its surrounding areas. Winds within the high pressure areas flow in a clockwise direction, indicative of good weather conditions. Areas of high pressure are usually associated with clear and sunny weather, as they are the direct opposite of a low pressure system. Tropical areas are well known for the frequent formation of low pressure and high pressure areas. Southeast and northeast monsoons. A cool and dry wind from Siberia carrying cold weather conditions and could bring rains over the eastern section of the country. The warm, moist air of the habagat brings heavy rains to most of the western part of the country from June to September. Intertropical Convergence Zone, or IPCZ. The equatorial area receives direct rays from the sun. It is much warmer than any other place on Earth. The warm equatorial area heats the air above it. The warm air then rises. Moisture in the rising air will lead to formation of clouds, which result in torrential downpours. Thus, IPCZ is the reason why we get a lot of thunderstorms during certain months of the year. Which months? During the months when the sun rays are most direct, during warm months. As warm air rises over the equatorial areas rises, the air in the surroundings will be from north to the equator and south of the equator will then meet and converge at the place where warm air is rising. Areas north and south of the equator are called tropics. Thus, we know why it is called the intertropical convergence zone. It is the place where winds in the tropics meet, rise, and form clouds resulting in thunderstorms during certain times of the year. The ITCZ brings heavy rains to parts of the country sometime between May to October. Easterly wave, a warm wind from the east which usually occurs when a mainland starts weakening and also brings warmer weather. Easterly wave is a migratory wave-like disturbance of the tropical estuaries. It is a wave along with a broad easterly current and moves from east to west. Tail end of the cold front. The convergence of the winds from east and northeast could also bring rains. The cold front is a leading edge of a cooler mass of air, replacing a ground level and warmer mass of air, which lies within a fairly sharp surface trough of low pressure. It forms in the wake of an extratropical cyclone at the leading edge of its cold air advection pattern, which is also known as the cyclone's dry conveyor belt circulation. Aside from the typhoon season when the weather can be wet and unpredictable, there is no bad time to visit the Philippines. The best time to visit the Philippines weather-wise is from January to May, however, and surprisingly, this is also the peak tourist season. The geographical location of the Philippines greatly affects its weather system. We are surrounded by bodies of water that contribute to the formation of the climatic condition. Due to the differential heating of the places, the certain climatic condition is experienced by the country. And that is it for today's lesson. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel GAITF or log into your account at LCM